All right, we're back with another brand new edition of our Talking with Friends podcast. I am Sports Information Director Levi Converse, and I'm joined, as always, by my assistant SID.
Morgan. Ew.
Yeah, don't even need a last name anymore, just Morgan. Is
Well,
that
everybody,
right?
okay, unless you just want to call me Raz, that's cool too. I mean, you never do, but everybody else knows me as that.
You
Even
told me
Alan calls me that.
You told me you didn't want me to, so I didn't. No. I
don't
can.
like you calling me that. I don't know,
Okay.
it sounds weird when you do it. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Yeah,
I guess
that's why
because you always have been calling me Morgan from day one.
That's why I haven't so far. So,
Yeah.
All right, we've got an awesome guest today. Actually, two guests. We've got our first national champion powerlifter, Dulce Delacruz, and powerlifting head coach and assistant AD of athletic performance, and what other title he has, I don't know. Joe Belden's here with all the above, right?
Well, thanks for having us. And is that your radio name or?
Oh, Raz? No.
Yeah. Because don't radio personalities typically have different? Yeah.
You know, actually, I feel like my radio name would definitely have to be like Razzle Dazzle.
Wow.
So I know, right?
Yeah,
Because that's
that's
all a little
impressive,
dazzle in your life, you know? But Raz actually, that definitely started probably my freshman year here. And I've always had kind of the nickname a little bit in high school because also that's actually my brother's nickname as well. Everybody just calls us Raz for some strange and odd reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's better than blueberry
Because
or strawberry or snozzberry.
That could have had. That's an option.
Yeah,
that's
for
an
sure.
option.
So, yeah, Raz has just always kind of been here.
It's an honor to be in your presence anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Morgan, you're getting blown up here. I thought we was going to blow up Dulce, and we're blowing up you to start with. So, all right, yeah. All right. Well, Dulce, you've kind of been the person of the hour recently for us, at least from my perspective. First national champion, first All-American, all that jazz coming. What was the experience like going and just competing at the recent national meet for you?
It was pretty exciting. At first I was really nervous. Like the night before, I couldn't even sleep that good because I was so nervous. The morning of, I was just like more excited. Like I was excited to get out there and do what I love to do, you know.
Yeah, and the feeling to win a national championship, you know, it's hard to comprehend it. Everyone has high goals coming in here. Every student athlete that I've seen here and everywhere, they come in with high expectations, high goals. They want to win it all. They want to be all-conference, all-American. But to win a national championship, how does that feel? Is that sunk in, really, that you're a national champion? I mean, that's the top of the hill.
Not really. I haven't really thought about it. Like, I haven't had time to actually think about it. But, like, when they called my name, I was like, what? I actually did that?
Yeah.
You know, it was hard work. So, I'm really proud of myself and, like, my teammates.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And, Joe, just so everyone knows, this wasn't an NAIA national meet. This was the USA Collegiate National Meet. So we had schools from all over the country competing, not just NAIA schools, for anyone that might be confused. So this had to be a great opportunity for you when you were there observing it in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, just to show everyone what Friends University is all about, and to people who may not have been familiar with us going in. So it had to be a great opportunity to really show us off and what we're doing.
Well, it really was, and I was, really proud of not just Dulce, but all of our athletes who competed. We took 13 to nationals, and there wasn't an athlete that didn't leave it all on the platform. They gave everything they had, and very, very proud of their performance and their efforts. And when you look, the realization for me, I mean, there are athletes from Ohio State and and Penn State all over the country. But the realization for me when we looked at the leaderboard, the team leaderboard, and Midland was number one on the women's side, and they're an NAIA school, but then it was Ohio State, and then Wisconsin, and then Louisiana Tech, I believe, and then Friends University. Yeah. And a lot of people walking up to us and saying, "Where's Friends University? We've never heard of it. You guys came out of the blue. I mean, where did you come from?" And so that was the eye opener. I think for me is just looking at our name up there, because we went in with high expectations, and I knew that we had a good group of athletes that would perform at a high level. So yeah, it was a great I don't know, atmosphere. It was pretty cool to get up and compete on the big stage.
It was, and you're right. It was an eye opener for me when we posted the picture of the leaderboard, and we saw our name in the middle of Wisconsin, Ohio State, and all the Louisiana Tech, and that was crazy good to finish fifth nationally. And Dulce, of course, her national title. For you coming in here, has the program exceeded expectations for you at this point? I mean, is this kind of where you expected it to be?
I don't know where I expected it to be. I mean, 2 years ago, I was hired 2 years ago, and the expectation was to sign 5 people.
Yeah, I remember.
And so we signed 5 people, and so we signed 7, and 5 showed up, and we pulled a few over from other sports for that first year, and had a really good recruiting class last year. And things took off, and they've continued to get better and better, and we've been able to stay injury free. And the great thing about our team, and Dulce can probably attest to this and talk more about it than I can, but we have a family atmosphere. And everybody, and I tell people, everybody I recruit, that if you're more of an individual, if you're not interested in being a good teammate and making the people around you better, then this isn't probably the place for you.
It's good.
And so that's one of the things. And I don't know, would you agree with that?
Yes, we push everyone. Like, we support each other. We're always there for each other. It's great.
From my perspective, I think that's absolutely accurate, because whenever somebody wins, I mean, obviously Dulce had the big one, but when everybody wins something, everyone is supportive of the other, it seems like. Mm-hmm. I mean, they know this is a team accomplishment to finish 5th nationally. So you have to have everybody on board with everything, and that's big time. Dulce, what was coming here and achieving what you've already achieved, but coming here, what was the big reason you come to Friends in the recruiting process? What was key in making your decision to come here?
I just liked it.
That's good.
I would always talk to Coach on the phone. He made me feel comfortable coming here, and I was just excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Joe, from your view, and we mentioned earlier at the top, all the duties and all the hats that you're wearing with the strength and conditioning, and obviously powerlifting head coach and all that. This strange season to culminate it like this at the USA Collegiate National Meet, in August, we had our meetings, our Zoom meetings, going into that April, March. We didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, we really did. It was an unknown for all of us.
Yeah.
From your view, you've been front and center with everything, with the strength and conditioning part, powerlifting part, all that. What is your assessment of how far we've come and what we've actually accomplished? How would you view that? Because like we said, it's the unknown. Now we're reaching the home stretch of the year. How would you assess how things have gone so far?
So now we've shifted the thought more to just strength and conditioning in general instead of just powerlifting, or a combination of both.
Yeah, really kind of a combination of both, because for all the teams, it was such an unknown when everything shut down in March. And from you're dealing with all the athletes pretty much. So how would you assess as an athletic department kind of where we've come and what we've accomplished?
I think we did the best we could in the position we were in, and with the facilities we have. And actually, it wasn't ideal by any stretch of the imagination. We had to cut down the numbers of athletes that we could train at one time. Now, on the positive end, there were more athletes that got more individual attention from coaches. But on the other side, we would have athletes split between the multi-purpose room and the weight room, and flipping people, flipping groups back and forth, and trying to keep groups together. So in the case from a social distancing standpoint, and to make sure we're following COVID protocols, and for contact tracing purposes, wanted to keep these small groups together and not let them intermingle. So, all in all, I think that things have gone as well as they could have. And we've, I look at what we did at Nationals, and not just did people perform at a high level, but we had 32 personal records. And so you're looking at 13 lifters and 32 personal records. That there's something going well.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of things. It's not just my programming. It's the way these guys push each other. It's their desire. It's their willingness to be coached. And when we start looking at the groups that we've been training throughout the rest of the year, the rest of our athletes, it's been really tough with game cancellations, and they reschedule on a day that they lift, and we can't switch their days around. And so it's been really, really hit and miss. Now, those who have been there consistently are making some really good gains. And our goal with some teams has just been simply to keep them recovered. and keep them injury free. So, yeah. So I think all in all, is it the perfect situation? Absolutely not. You know, in a non-COVID year, would we do it the same way? No. But we did. I think we did a pretty good job servicing, you know, our student athlete population.
Yeah, I would agree, and just from my view too. Hats off to your work for this, because you've been a big component of what's made this work this year. And when you talk about expectations, I remember the meetings 2 years ago. I remember releasing we had powerlifting as a program, and we hired you as new strength and conditioning coach. Everybody was excited, but if you told me just 2 years later we'd be finishing 5th nationally, the women, and have a national champ sitting here, I don't know if I'd have believed it. I mean, that's amazing to me. That really exceeded what I thought, and that's just you all's hard work and dedication to it.
And I knew when I signed her that we had a chance.
Yeah, I remember when.
Yeah, because she was that good.
You were excited.
Yeah,
I remember.
And you know, I can't get out of here without, you know, mentioning that we had 4 other top 10 finishers too in the country with you know, Mateo Flores and Tyler Wilson, Bailey Passmore, and Chalon Jimenez. They all placed top 10 in the country. And you know, even though there were some points where people might have PR'd in 2 events but then bombed out in 1, or they didn't do as well as they thought they would have, and when you start to put things in perspective, most powerlifters would take 2 PRs in a meet. You know, most powerlifters, if you told them, hey, you can be top 10 in the country in the first time you've ever attended a national event, they would say, yeah, that's pretty cool. And so, you know, we had some that, you know, we had 4 that were top 10 besides Dulce.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Tyler Wilson, we did a human interest story on him last year that you helped me put together.
Right.
His road to where he's been has just been amazing. I know for you to watch as well.
Absolutely.
It's awesome to see how that's come together. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Morgan likes to have a couple fun questions.
I do.
I'm the semi-serious part. I don't know if I'm ever 100% serious, but I'm the semi-serious, and Morgan takes over and kind of wraps it up on a fun note.
Yeah. I like to have fun. We're a fun group, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually very curious because I'm not making fun at all because I think this is so amazing. You're so tiny, but how much do you actually lift?
My bench is actually 95.
Holy crap, that's way more than I can.
But hopefully it'll be in the 100 soon. That's my next goal. I deadlift about 230 and squat about 190.
Actually,
203 at the meet.
Actually, yeah, 203
is
what she did to me, and she's a state record holder too, along with several other people on our team. So we have, I think, 5 that have some state records.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
That's so stinking awesome. I'm sorry. That's so awesome.
Yep.
Oh, man. I guess just because, I can't do that, but, I mean, I probably could, but...
And just to put things in context for our listeners, Dulce weighs 94 pounds. So that's the weight class that she competes in. Now, she may be a 103 next year. Hopefully. We'll see. Yeah. It got to the point she started packing on a little muscle, and it was kind of it was difficult to keep the weight down. But
that's so awesome.
Yep.
Oh man, sorry. That's so cool.
It really is.
I'm really just that's
So she deadlifts and squats over twice her body weight. So.
That's almost over twice my body weight, and I'm actually a fairly bigger person, not huge by any means.
That's definitely astounding.
Wow.
It really is something.
That's so. I am so. That's okay. I'm gonna be like a cheerleader for you guys now. This is so cool.
Do you want her autograph while we're here?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right.
That's a formality. That's a formality. I think it's not gonna be the last one she signs. I don't think either.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, I came from a high school that powerlifting was not really a thing, especially not for girls. It was always just the guys that did it. It was never the girls that did it. And so that's why I just find this so cool, so amazing. And
you didn't go to school in Texas, did you?
I did go to school in Texas.
Did you really?
I did.
Wow, because that is a hotbed for powerlifters. That's
really?
where Dulce's from.
Yeah.
Oh, what part of Texas?
Floresville, which is close to San Antonio.
Ah, gotcha.
She's more Houston.
Yeah,
we're Houston.
More Houston.
Okay,
Yeah, our biggest thing was football and volleyball. Our head coach for volleyball, she had 9 state championships, 2 in tennis, And our football head coach, he's also our athletic director, and that's all he really knows is football, So that was our things, but yeah, and it was never really encouraged for girls. And then, what kind of made you want to go into powerlifting?
My brother, actually, he was a senior and I was a freshman in high school, and he was also in the powerlifting team, and I think I was in the basketball team during that time, and I didn't really enjoy it, but he was like, you know what, you should try this sport. It's really good, you'll have fun, you'll make friends. I was like, okay, I'll try it, let's see what it is.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it for a little bit, for 2 years. I was like, I'm not sure. I didn't have a really good coach. He only cared about 2 other girls, and the rest of the team was like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
But
Then Coach G came.
Yeah. And man, oh man, I started loving the sport. He was a great coach. He pushed me to my max all the time. It was amazing.
And he made my job easier.
Yep.
When you recruit kids that come from good programs and they've been coached up well, then we don't have to break a lot of bad habits. And the kids from Floresville, we've got 2 more coming next year that have committed, and they're going to sign here in a couple weeks. I know that they're going to come in coached up.
Yeah.
And ready to go. So, and he's using a lot of the same, we talk on the phone on a regular basis, he's using a lot of the same conjugate methodology that we're using as well. So anyway, I feel really good about that as well. We'll take all those Floresville kids we can get.
Oh yeah. Hey,
well, if they are, but if they come up, they've got to know that if they're not a national champion in year 1,
he's definitely got it's some big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah. That's a legacy that they're going to have to live up to.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably my final question, just because I asked this question for everybody, and both of you can definitely answer this. I'm sure I might know probably the answer to it, but so far, what is probably your funniest memory that you have here so far?
Oh boy.
I know it's hard, huh?
I'm so focused I don't laugh at anything. But I know, but Dulce probably has some.
Not really. No,
Funniest
I'm
memory?
more serious,
Hey, she's locked in and focused. She's a champion.
I'll tell you what, when she does, everybody comes into the weight room, and the powerlifting crew, they all act like they haven't seen each other in a year. They all come in and they sit around and talk, and we warm up differently in powerlifting because they all have to learn to warm up on their own and address their own weaknesses and their own needs, because during a powerlifting meet everybody's scattered and and warming up at different times. But once they start working, they get focused quick. And so when she said, I'm pretty focused, she is. Everybody comes in and they chat and, once again act like they haven't seen each other forever. And then it's go time.
Yeah.
And it's time to get to work. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But hey, when you're a champion, something's working. Obviously, the formula is a success.
Well, she makes me look like a good coach.
He is a good coach.
So I just, I keep recruiting a bunch of Dulces, then we're in great shape. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we thank you both for joining us today. It was awesome. Awesome talk and incredible accomplishments. I think that we all can take pride in. It's fun to watch and fun to follow, and just keep it going for both of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for coming by. Yeah. That is Joe Belden, our powerlifting head coach, assistant AD of athletic performance, and who knows what else. Dulce Delacruz, our first powerlifting national champion. So awesome to have them both with us. That's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to cover. So, yeah, big things are still coming, definitely, for the powerlifting program.
I'm still just amazed. I don't know why, but I am.
It's incredible what they've done really in 2 years, because as I said, if I thought that this would happen in a 2-year span, a national champion and a 5th place overall finish, I'm not for sure I would have been honest if I thought that was coming, but it has, and it's incredible.
It really is crazy. Y'all don't understand. He's literally I've only worked with Coach B, with volleyball and stuff like that for 2 years maybe. Like, I think he came whenever I was it was like halfway through my sophomore year, I think, when he came. And so I've only worked with Coach B for this amount of time, and that's not even full time, but I can only imagine, like, what all he does for these powerlifting people. And it's not like they did bad last year really either. Like, I mean, they didn't really go to a national meet or anything because they were just starting out, but it's really so amazing at, like, how much he has done and how much he has improved all of us as athletes in just this short amount of time that he's been here.
Yeah, it's been incredible.
It's so amazing. He's an amazing guy, and I'm so proud of Dulce because, like, I'm sorry, but I wish I was 95 pounds, not gonna lie. But, like, for her to lift, like, almost twice my own weight, like, wow, that's so amazing to me that people can actually do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just baffled by it because I'm like, this is so cool. It's so amazing. I'm like, humans are amazing. People are awesome.
Yeah, it really
just
is.
amazing.
For sure.
They amaze me.
No doubt about that. So, other events going on. Tomorrow, baseball. Today, baseball was originally supposed to play at St. Mary with a 3 o'clock first pitch to open that series up. There's rain and storms apparently in Leavenworth, Kansas, which doesn't surprise me. It's very cloudy and going to storm here later,
It's
too.
been a storm here, yeah.
So that game has been postponed. So they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow at noon. That was already scheduled, but a doubleheader tomorrow at noon. And then one game Sunday at 1 p.m. at St. Mary. So that's baseball series for this weekend. Outdoor track and field. The men's and women's Falcons is at the Tabor College Invitational.
Oh, yeah.
They had a few athletes compete at the Wichita State KT Woodman Classic last weekend. But
cool.
this weekend they are. Head coach Henry Run told me they are bringing a full cast to compete this weekend at Tabor. So we'll keep an eye on that.
That's awesome. Good luck to them.
Right. We'll coverage that. We'll have coverage of that as well. So softball is off this weekend. They'll be back home on Tuesday, April 27th, to wrap up the regular season at home against Southwestern College. Baseball is also home that night against Central Christian for one game at 6 p.m. So that's the next home event coming up on campus. Will be next Tuesday.
Yeah. And speaking of this weekend with baseball
did end up winning against Southwestern.
Yes,
which was a huge deal because it was a very big win. They ended up winning 11-1.
Yes,
in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. Not gonna lie.
A run rule victory, 4 home runs.
They were on fire. Yeah, on Saturday. No, not Saturday. Sunday. It was Sunday, right? No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was Saturday.
Earlier this week.
It was earlier this week.
Yeah.
Holy poop! That was this week.
Yeah.
My stars! See, this is
Does
how
that
bad.
make it seem like a longer week or a shorter week?
It seemed like a longer week, I think.
Yeah. It was on Tuesday. 4 home runs. Sam Ingberg hit 2 home runs, and he hadn't have a career home run.
And they were back to back too.
Back-to-back plate appearances. You never know where you're going to get in baseball. Sam Ingberg with 2 home runs and back-to-back plate appearances. He didn't have a career home run coming into that game, but he hits 2 and back-to-back. That just has to be an awesome feeling to do that.
That was so cool. And like after his first home run, Ellery Rivera ended up hitting a home run right after that one.
Yeah, they went back-to-back.
Which was just so incredible to see. It was fun to watch this week, not going to lie. Wow, that does not feel like that was earlier this week. What day was that? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Tuesday was baseball because softball was Wednesday night against Oklahoma Wesleyan. They split that in a key KCAC series. So, yeah.
Man, my days are way off, man.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's all good. We're getting it back together.
Yeah, you're getting slowly
getting it back together.
Back together.
Yeah. But that was a huge win for them because they had previously won their first games against Southwestern, and then they went over to Southwestern and ended up losing. So they ended up winning the series 2-1. I guess,
very good.
series.
Yeah, they did win the series, the season series. Yes, that is correct.
Yep.
They win there. Yeah.
So that's really awesome to see. Hopefully they can continue that streak with St. Mary this weekend.
They beat St. Mary big earlier this year in a non-conference series here.
I remember that.
They won both those games big, but tomorrow will be at St. Mary. It will be a KCAC series tomorrow. So tomorrow and Sunday, 3-game series.
Yep.
So
exciting
that's what's happening
news. Exciting news.
Yeah, we're down. As we said, we're down the stretch here in this year. It's been crazy, different adjustments everywhere. Had to adapt, but we've made it, and we're closing it out. It's actually wound up being a pretty fun year for me, and I didn't know if I'd say that going into this year or not. But we've actually done everything I've wanted to do. We've accomplished a lot with our athletic department, and it's all been fun. So it'll be fun to see how it ends, how it concludes, because we've still got a little bit more left in this story.
Yes, we do.
Not quite done yet, but we're kind of down the stretch of it. So, all right. You want to talk a little bit of MLB? No.
Sure. Let's go.
Your Astros, as of now, are winning 8-0 today.
Let's go.
Over the Angels. They're getting back on track. Yeah, because they got off to a really hot start. Then they struggled. They struggled. But now they look like they're right back where they need to be. At least today.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully that track stays on because we need it to.
Yeah, no doubt.
We definitely need it to.
So Astros won last night 8-2. They play the Angels again tonight. So the day was just mixed up, but they won 8-2 last night, and they play the Angels again tonight. That series continues, and let's look at the standings here. See where your Astros are at. They are actually right now. They're still in last place in the West. At 8-10, 3.5 out from the top. The Mariners surprisingly are leading.
Really?
They are 12-7. Yeah.
That is interesting.
But the A's are red hot. They've won 11 straight. They're now 12. So they start out 1-7 because the Astros swept them in a 4-game series to start the year. And the A's start out 1-7. They're now 12-7. They've won 11 straight. Seems like the A's do that every year though. They get on a really hot streak, and they usually are playoff contender.
Yeah.
Every year. The A's always get on a run like that. They won 20 in a row back in 2002. I know a lot of people remember that being the year that, or the movie Moneyball was made based off of that year. So, Billy Bean with the A's, that movie came out of that year in 2002 because they had lost Jason Giambi. They had lost some of their top players in free agency because they're a smaller market team, and they built it with a Moneyball philosophy. And looking at things such as batting average or on-base percentage, basically, all that kind of stuff, analytical, and it's kind of been the way MLB is treated to now. It had a big impact on how MLB is ran now with analytics. And the A's still do that. They still employ that. So it's still working for them because they're a contender every year. My Cardinals are the exact same way your Astros are. They're 8-10, also in last place in the NL Central. 3 games back out of first place. They gotta be the most inconsistent team though in the majors, because they'll score 11 runs in a game. Then they'll get shut out the very next day.
Yeah, that's very true. So
they're very inconsistent hitting the baseball. It needs to change, and needs to change quickly. If they're going to make a run like I anticipated them doing this year, and there's still plenty of time. But yeah, they need to get things going. So NBA back, NBA action. Anthony Davis come back with the Lakers last night. The Mavericks still won. Lakers are down to a 5th seed right now in the Western Conference. Utah leading the West and leading the league. Phoenix is the number 2 seed as of right now. So the West is wild as always. Stephen Curry has been on an absolute tear for the Warriors shooting the basketball. He's right back in the MVP conversation now. He's already won 2, but he's right back in the MVP conversation now with the way he is playing. So about a month left to the playoffs start in the NBA. A little less than a month before the play-in game on play-in tournament on May the 18th. So they've got kind of the home stretch of that season too, but still some games left, obviously. So we got some randomness today. Anything random?
Poop, I forgot.
So that's random.
That's my random. I forgot.
That's your random, because you never forgot about randomness.
I've never forgotten randomness.
That is so random. That is so random that you actually forgot about it.
I know. I'm like, dang.
That is so random.
I don't really remember. I don't know it, but you know what?
That's the most random thing we could have, because that is like your favorite topic.
I know.
That's like it doesn't get any more random than that you actually forgot a random topic.
I know.
today.
That's why I'm like, what is
That's the
going
most
on?
random thing we could have talked about.
Well, today is actually Travis's birthday. I know that. I guess
Okay.
if that's random.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's my boyfriend's birthday.
Kind of.
Haha.
Kind of random. Kind of. But
I got that.
I still think it's more random that you actually forgot a random topic.
I know, right? I gotta hardcore think about this now. I don't remember.
Well, we
but
can
it's
move
cool.
on. We can move on. No.
Yeah.
And if you think of something at the end, then we can bring it up. No.
Well, I mean, like, I made an up bowl to go with my up plate.
Okay.
During the walkout, I did make an up bowl. Hang on, I gotta show you a picture of it because it's super cute. It makes me happy. Hang on, I gotta find the picture first. There it is. Look at my little bowl that I made.
Okay.
Isn't it cute?
Adventure is out there. No.
Yeah.
That's kind of random. Yep.
Isn't that cute though?
Yep. That's kind of random. A little
I
bit.
thought
No.
it was cute.
It is. It is very nice. Sharp. But no.
Yeah.
That's good artistry. No.
Oh heck yeah, you know it.
Yeah. Good work. All right. No. Creative juices were flowing, right? No.
Oh yeah, always.
All right. So, do you have a scheduled devotion for today?
I do.
All right. Let's go to devotion.
Okay.
This is so random. You forgot a random topic.
I don't know. Oh well.
Most random thing we've ever done on here. No.
Well, I mean, I have been on the topic of like black-eyed kids. If that is anything, I guess. I don't know. You've never heard of black-eyed kids?
Apparently not.
You've never heard?
Apparently
Of it?
not. So
Oh my
enlighten me.
stars.
Enlighten me on it. Maybe that's today's random topic.
Okay, so black-eyed kids. Okay. Keep in mind.
I've heard the black-eyed
okay.
peas.
No. Okay, now keep in mind, I swear I'm not a bad or evil person in any way. Obviously, I'm very much Christian. But I find these topics very intriguing. I like to listen to this podcast called Astonishing Legends. They're all legends. Some of them could be true. Some of them can't be true. We don't really fully know. You know, it's like the topic of like ghosts. You know, it's a topic of like the Mothman legend, you know, like Bigfoot, aliens, whole 9 yards, you know, like those types of like legends, quote unquote, you know, like astonishing things. Well, right now, I'm listening to their episodes on the Black-Eyed Kids. So, Black-Eyed Kids are they're basically demons, in a way. That's not necessarily their full, like, category. I don't know exactly what their category is, but they're associated with demons. That's about all I know. And they're obviously kids. Like, they range. It usually is like two kids, like a pair of two. And it can be girls or it can be boys. They're usually not mixed though. It's usually boys or girls. And one's always like older, and they always have a smaller one too. They say that the older one's usually close to like 14-ish, maybe a little younger, but like around that time. And then the other one is always just younger, like 7, 8 years old, you know. And they're very like monotoned. And they always wear like grungy looking clothes. Like they're not your typical kids that you would see running around, right? But and they always have their head down, usually, or like they don't usually like look up at you, because obviously their biggest feature and giveaway is their black eyes, obviously, right? So basically, they come to your doorstep and are like, hey, can I use your phone? Let me inside. Or like in your car, like, can you give me a ride home? Can you give us a ride home? Or something, just let us in. They want to be let into your home or let into your vehicle, let into whatever you are in. Like, they want inside. And they're extremely hard to get rid of, because once they're inside, they don't want to leave. And usually encounters with them can, like if you actually let them inside, some of the symptoms that you can have is that you feel really sick. You feel really nauseous. One, they smell really bad. So, I mean,
Weird.
they smell like... The best way that it was described to me is like rotten eggs. They just have a bad odor. It's not really sulfury, but it's like, yeah. Because, like, you know, like, demons are actually associated with the smell of sulfur.
Yeah.
And, but they don't really have a sulfur. So it's just a bad odor. Like, a really bad, like, BO type of thing, you know? Yeah. So that's one of their features that is really kind of hard to get over. But, like, people want to help them, want to let them in because they're kids. You know? Or quote-unquote kids. And it's not really like a possession type of thing at all. No, like it's legit. These things formed as kids. Like they're not possessing kids or anything. No, like that's not the case in this. They're legit actual like things, creatures that have taken this shape. And so basically what can happen if you do end up letting them inside, one, they don't want to leave. You can't get rid of them. Or it's very, very, very hard to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. Two, you'll start to feel sick and nauseated. 3, your nose will start to bleed. 4, you get very mentally disoriented. And 5, they could actually potentially kill you. So, it's very intriguing. It is very interesting. Sorry. So I mean, I don't care. Like, never. Okay. If you ever have, like, a knock on your door, and they say that it can happen at any time, but usually it's at night. Usually it's at nighttime that it happens. And sometimes those that don't let them in, if you're rude to them, they can still harm you somehow, some way, supposedly. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, I don't know if any of this is true. So don't quote me on anything. I don't know if any of this is true. Only the people that have fully actually experienced it would know if it's true or not, right? So I'm just basing it off of what they're saying. And what people have told them. Because, like, the thing about this podcast is that, like, they're not full-on, straight-up believers, you know? Like, they definitely are very rational people that are, like, okay, this could have... They're open-minded, rational thinkers, if that makes sense. Yeah. They're very open-minded about it, just like me. Like, I'm very open-minded about it, but I think rationally on this. Like, could this actually legit happen? I don't know. But do I have an open mind about it and do I like learning about it? Absolutely, because I think it's interesting. Because what if this situation does happen? You need to know this stuff, right? That's how I see it. Like, I feel like if I needed this situation or this information, I'm going to need it, you know? But I'm also that person that's, like, very paranoid about a lot of stuff. So I like to be prepared. But if you don't let them in... You just have to hold your ground because they will stay there for hours on end, screaming and beating down your door, trying to get in. But they can get in without your permission. Like, you have to give them permission to come inside your home. So, but they will keep bugging you until you give them permission. Wow. So, it's intriguing. So, if you ever, like, notice a kid, or, like, you notice something that, like, won't look up at you, and they're very monotone, like they're very like whenever you hear like a robot recording, that's kind of how it is. They're not like this necessary, they don't have the same demeanor as a kid their age, you know. They definitely act different, but like most people's instinct is to let them in and help them because they're kids, right? But yeah, honestly, I'm sorry, but if I have anybody banging on my door at like 11 o'clock at night, I'm probably not going to answer, period. So
that's good advice.
I'm just saying.
Just don't answer the door at 11 o'clock at night. Just don't
answer the door. Unless you know somebody is coming, don't answer the door if it's 11 o'clock at night. Maybe you can look out your window or like peek through your little peephole type of thing, but don't ever open and answer the door. That's just friendly advice. Yeah. Whether or not you actually have an interaction with these things or not, I don't know. But just for your own personal safety, don't do it. In general, just don't answer it at like 11 o'clock at night. But yeah, so it's really intriguing, and I'm kind of like digging learning about it. Like, I've actually learned so much about with this stinking podcast. Like, it's insane. Probably one of my favorite podcasts, though, is the Sally House. And I don't know, I just think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to learn about ghosts and spirits and different things like that. And just kind of like the unknown, because we don't really know, right? So it's kind of interesting. Plus, I believe we have a ghost in my own home, so her name is Miss Crutchfield, and it's cool.
Yeah, I'm giving you the look in case you couldn't.
Shout out to Miss Crutchfield. Woo!
I'm giving you the look.
Yeah, me and you have had this topic, this
We have
talk plenty of times. It's cool. I did a research paper on it. It's cool. On mediums and psychics. I find this stuff intriguing. I think it's interesting. Now, do I fully believe in it? No. But do I think it's really awesome, and do I have like hints of it? Absolutely, because I think it's cool. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think all mediums or psychics are mediums and psychics. What I think is sometimes some people can maybe have like some sense. Like it's like a good intuition type of feeling. You know, like, man, I just had a really good intuition feeling about that. You know, if that kind of makes sense. However, like we've actually legit seen Miss Crutchfield. Like we know she's there. And it's one of those things that if you kind of have to see it to believe it. Seeing is believing, literally, in this type of situation. So that's why I'm like, everything else that I learn about, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, so that's like the black-eyed kids. Like, I mean, I still have fear that they could be real, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, okay. In order for me to fully believe this, I think I'm going to have to see it. And I hope I never do see it. I just want to learn about it. So, but if I do see it, I'm prepared for what to do.
There you go. Well, that really took us to a different path of randomness.
Sorry, I just saw that on my other on my podcast stuff because my devotion is on podcast, and so I was looking at the previous podcast I was listening to, and it was actually the Black Eyed Kids, and I forgot about that. Okay. So that wasn't actually supposed to be a random topic. I promise you that.
I don't know if I would say that's a perfect segue to our devotional, but our devotional's next, so there's your segue.
I feel like this should be a good time to go to a devotional. Now, we just got done talking about demons. Maybe we should go to a devotion.
I don't know if this is a perfect segue or not, but it is what it is.
It's close enough, right? So, like I say, almost every single podcast that we do, I get all of my devotions from the Big Life devotional podcast with Pamela Krim. Absolutely amazing. Go look her up if you ever want to listen to any kind of podcast. But today's podcast is called In Your Fire. Sometimes life gets a little fiery. Things go wrong, good is threatened, and you're left to face an uncertain situation that could potentially get worse. Or it will get worse, you know? So, like, what do you do when you start feeling the heat? Like, what do you do when the flames grow bigger? What do you do when things go up in smoke? Like, I know that I definitely have had this. I think everybody has had this happen at some point in their life where they're like, okay, this is just too much. So much is going on. Oh my stars! It feels like we're just getting thrown into the fire. But like, how do you feel about it? Like, what do you do? What do you do when this happens?
Well, I think first of all, you have to assess the situation where you're at. You have to have a plan to relax and again, look at the situation. You don't want to panic, and then you pray. You have to pray because that's when we pray. That's our conversation with God about everything that's going on. So, no matter how bad the fire is, we know God's with us, but yet we still have to keep the communication lines open with the Lord and really just, but again, it's easier said than done though. When you're in the middle of adversity and you're facing something negative or going through a fire, it's hard. It's a good reminder to be already prayed up and close to the Lord before that happens, because when you're in the middle of something, it's not really a good time to all of a sudden be getting reacquainted with God. It's not a good time to do it. So I think prior to that should be part of our daily life, is staying close to the Lord, because we know He's in the fire with us, but we just have to have that assurance that we're right, we're in the right relationship
Well,
with
'cause,
him,
like,
and
sometimes-
continue with him.
Well, and it makes us question, like, does he not have the power to stop it, or does he just not care enough to stop it? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, sometimes we do question that. I'm sure that I've done it. I'm actually pretty positive I've done this before. Like, why is this happening? Like, we pray to him and ask why, and in all honesty, like, we're not perfect, so stop asking why all the time, because he is right there with us. If our God is both powerful and loving, then why isn't he showing up with blaring sirens and flashing lights in your fire? Well, I'm going to be real honest with you and tell you there have been times where the 911 emergency prayers are not answered.
Yep.
It's so true. Sometimes your emergency prayers will not be answered. There are always unanswered prayers. And sometimes those that are like just the informational prayers do get answered.
Mm-hmm.
Like immediately. And you're starting to question, okay, what is going on? But sorry. And it was right then that, like, sorry, I lost my train of thought in what I was going to say. The story of my life, right?
Sometimes, but not always.
Yeah, I know, right? He was only to be contacted for emergency purposes, which is not true. God should not only be contacted for emergency purposes. Just like you said, he should be a part of our daily routine. He should be a part of our daily life. We should be talking to him daily, and not just when we need him most. He's not here to just put out fires, guys. Like, he's not. Our God is so awesome and truly amazing, and it will do so many amazing things for you. However, if you're just using him for emergencies, then he's probably not going to respond to you very well. He's not going to make things worse, no. But he won't make things worse for you. But he's not going to answer it right away. He's not going to answer that 911 emergency prayer for you right away, because we need him beforehand as well. And we'll need him after that. So, if I called on him in prayer when it wasn't a real emergency, I might be fined or something. Seriously, that's the way I viewed prayer. That's what she says. Sorry. Why? Because in my head, he was busy doing bigger, more important things for people in bigger fires than my own. Is that the way you treat prayer? Your needs are reserved for when you really can't stand. What a trick of the enemy to make us look around in our fire and believe God is answering insignificant requests while ignoring our own. It is a nasty twist on the truth to make us believe God can only handle one request at a time. So instead of bringing everything to the Father, we stand at the back of the line as if our needs are not important. I mean, there is no line.
Right.
So what are we waiting for? Sit there and pray for him. I might say that not all emergency prayers are going to be answered. There are many unanswered prayers. And that's okay. But you know what? Your prayer or your needs are you are not less important than somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You are equally made to have this. He is unlimited. We put limits on God, but he is unlimited. He is everywhere. He is here for us. Even in the times that we don't need him, he is still here for us.
Yeah, and that's true. That's something I think we fail to comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
This boggled my mind as a kid, and it really still boggles my mind if I have to be honest. God is omnipresent. He's everywhere. And the devil's not omnipresent.
Yep.
He can only be in one place at one time. So God is omnipresent. He's everywhere. He created the earth. He's everywhere in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes that we think we're just kind of, left out in the cold, just a number to God, and just no. Actually, the Bible says the opposite.
Yeah.
The Bible says that God knows how many numbers are on our head. He counts the numbers. That's how much He loves us. That's how much He knows us and in depth, everything about us. So, I mean, we're unique to God.
Well, I mean, in Genesis, I believe, Genesis chapter 1, verse 31, it says, "Then God saw everything that He had made, and indeed it was very good." He saw it all. He is everywhere. He is in the mountains. He's in the seas, the islands, the deserts, the constellations, the faraway planets even. Like, He is everywhere, and everything that He sees is good. It is very good, in fact. And dang it. He watches just as much as He's watching me today. He's also watching you.
Mm-hmm.
He sees everything. Sorry, I'm just going to keep saying that because that's like overwhelming to me. Like that is so amazing. Like, I mean, like, that's like the God's got the whole world in His hands. A little, like, Sunday school song. I remember that. Why that just came to my mind, I don't know. But it was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, He literally does have the whole world in His hands, and He can see everything. And that's so amazing to me. Like, our God is so awesome and amazing that He literally can see everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool to me. Sorry.
It really
like,
is.
You are not a burden to God. You are not burdening Him with your requests. You are not burdening Him or stealing His power from Him or anything, or like jumping in front of other people, like line cutting, because there is no line. He's everywhere. Just as much as He's here, right here with us, He is there with you too. Like, it also says right here, like, His power is for you. He cares. Remember the story of the 3 guys who were thrown into a fiery furnace? Oh, I do remember this one. By the king because they refused to worship his golden statue. It's the first Bible story that she'd ever heard as a teen.
That's very good, yeah.
But, like,
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yep. At the time, hang on. So, this God who could save these guys from going in the fire, but He didn't. He didn't actually physically go in and save them from the fire. No, what happened is God... Oh, hang on. It says that, well, here, I'll just read it from, like, her perspective. This is her story. I learned about this God who could save 3 guys from going in the fire, but He didn't. I learned about this God who let people of unshakable faith go right in the fire when He could have stopped it. And I learned about a God who used it all for good. A God who had a bigger plan at work, and through the fire He would work. Through the fire, God works. I would rather he never allow the fires. I would prefer I'm pretty sure everybody would prefer not going into the fire, right? Like, everybody would prefer that. But this is God working. Sometimes God soaks us in a something downpour, and sometimes He allows wildfires to grow, but this is God's working. This is our opportunity to trust in God. I mean, you can even take the story about Daniel going into the lion's den. There's so many stories like this. I mean, no, that wasn't physically a fire, him going into the lion's den, but when he came out, everybody was expecting him to be, gone. Yeah. And he wasn't. Because of his faith and because God had him go in. He could have easily stormed down and said, no, he's not going into the lion's den. No, like, blah, 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 but he didn't. And because he didn't, he was able to work while he was in the lion's den to prove a point that he is still here.
Yep, that's good stuff, because sometimes we think God has to rescue us. Like, God always rescues us from going through bad things. No, he doesn't rescue us always from going through bad things. Sometimes he does, but he's always with us during those bad things. He was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They even asked, wait a minute, I seen 3 men in there, but where'd that fourth man go? So, he's there with them in the fire. He didn't save them from the fire, but he's there with them in the fire, and they were not harmed. Daniel went in the lion's den, but God shut the mouths of the lions where they would not harm him, because Daniel had his faith in God. David had to go face the giant. He actually faced Goliath. He didn't cower down, and Goliath just died on his own.
No.
David actually had to fire the slingshot and knock Goliath out and kill him on that. So all these things, God, he goes with us as we approach these battles, but he don't save us from them all the time. We have to face it. Yeah, he's with us as we face it.
You will not walk alone in this. You will not walk this alone. None of your fires are too big for him. None of your challenges or struggles are too much for him, but they're not going to be too much for you either, because as much as you probably don't think he cares. I mean, I'd hope you would think he cares, but like, some people do question it, and that's okay. It's okay. But as much as you think, oh man, what if God doesn't care in this moment in time? He does care, and he's right there with you. You are not alone in this. As much as you want to feel that you are alone in this and that you have to do this all by yourself, you do not, because God is right there with you, facing it every step of the way with you. How you walk through this fire makes a difference in not only your life, but in the lives of others. Others are watching you. Will they see you walking with God? Will they see you struggle and keep going in faith? Will they see how God uses all of this for good? You don't have to hide your struggles. If you hide your struggles, how God strengthens as well. It's always said that we have to cast our anxieties onto him, but we have to seek him to get through it.
Yep.
And just remember that he really is right here with you every step of the way, as much as you are struggling, or as much as however big or hot that fire is right now, you will make it through, because God is right there with you. He won't let it get so bad that you cannot stand anymore.
Yeah, like the verse in 1 Peter says, cast all of your anxieties on him. Not some of your anxieties, not a little bit, not most of your anxieties, all of them.
All of them.
On him.
Yep.
Because he cares for you.
He does. He really and truly does. He really is an awesome guy.
Yep, for sure. Very good devotion. That was I enjoyed it.
He's got the whole
I enjoyed.
world.
I know that song. I remember singing that as a kid. There's 2 songs I remember singing as a kid. That one and Father Abraham.
Oh my gosh, Father Abraham.
You ever remember that song? No.
I do remember Father Abraham.
How long that song was? It took up, seemed like half the church service to sing it.
Oh my stars. Such a long one. I have actually so many, technically Sunday school songs that you could probably potentially think of, but I also went to a really amazing summer church camp called Camp Lone Star, and we had so many different songs that was just fun. Like, we had a song called The Sea of Galilee. That was probably my favorite of all time. I don't know why, but it was just fun. And then Lemon Hut.
Oh yeah.
It's called Lemon Hut.
Really?
It was just fun. It was always a fun time. Some of my greatest memories were probably from that camp. It's insane. I want to go back so bad.
That's awesome. Hey,
but
you need to go back sometime.
I do. I need to go back sometime.
Go revisit the youth and recreate it. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Once COVID goes away.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Basically, when COVID goes away, then I'll go.
There you go. Well, we're down this home stretch in that too, hopefully.
And it is your turn to pray.
I do know that. Yeah, it is. So I'm getting ready to pray us out, but we're thankful for powerlifting head coach Joe Belden and national champion Dulce Delacruz joining us today. Remember baseball tomorrow on the road at St. Mary, and Sunday back home Tuesday night versus Central Christian. Softball also at home versus Southwestern. So, great time today. Let me pray us out, and we'll talk to you again soon. Lord, we're thankful for today. We're thankful for Joel and Dulce for joining us today. We're thankful for Morgan and the work that she does and the work that she's getting ready to do for you. I know you got her plan already lined out, and the people she's going to meet and what she's going to be able to accomplish for you to further your mission. So we're thankful for that. We're thankful for this university, campus wide, our athletic department, staff, and student athletes. We ask that just a special blessing and protective hand upon all of them. Just allow us to continue to bring people closer to you, and allow us to use wisdom and discernment to ascertain your will and to always do your will, and just keep us close to you and draw us closer to you, and keep protective hand upon us always. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. All right. Thanks again for joining us today. Have a great rest of your weekend. We will talk to you again next week.
Whoop whoop.